First question: are we comfortable talking about our deal sourcing process? Yeah, and that's and Pat had this question too. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's you know I would say well, when I was at Hampshire, our deal sourcing process was more focused on uh, institutional sources, investment banks, boutique investment banks, but more even, towards the blue chip, investment banks, the Lincolns, the brand, the more brand name, and also the smaller guys too. But and our and part of that was because I think the partners had the senior partners really started kind of more in really the late 80s, early 90s when there was more of a let's let the phone ring mentality. And obviously that's gone. But they might have had that mentality. Our kind of strategy there, and the strategy I still believe in is, we look at those deals, but we do a lot of work. We put our best foot forward, and we're probably not going to be the top bidder. But we try to differentiate ourselves with showing an understanding of the business, personality, trustworthiness, and our hope is to be the call when the deal breaks, and that's happened a number of times. That's we've really broadened that out over the years. I mean, I think that we're big believers in the more granular approach to deal sourcing, and that's really just I call it a feet on the street model, and it's meeting with off the beaten path investment banks, brokers, lawyers, accountants. It's just a lot of kind of handshaking, and it's not even really looking for proprietary deals. It's more trying to get the warm introduction to something that deals that maybe aren't widely shopped, and they're looking for a group that they can trust. And then obviously we just we try to work with other, with family offices, independent sponsors, people like that who are, maybe looking for a couple $1 million of equity to round out a deal or that sort of thing. And we love buy side guys. I mean, I think we've had a lot of luck. We've had really good experience with buy side search firms. Though I think that they're under a lot of pressure. I think investment banks are. I was talking to one of them the other day, and he pretty much said, we're seeing companies these days that a banker never would have touched a couple of years ago that are getting a lot of attention from investment bankers. So I think that those that's like anything, that's getting more competitive too. And the best, Pat, Curtis, you asked what's the best source of deals. I would actually say for us, it was those buy side guys, because they would find the good kind of family owned companies that, had a couple issues that would scare the investment bankers off, but that we were kind of comfortable with dealing with, just because we've got an operator, we're going to spend a little more time. We've got a longer term horizon, so we can afford to, we don't have to get too hung up on purchase multiple as far as looking at what are the pro forma costs that we're going to have to add in.